Hi there, this is Jennifer with Brome Fields, and today I am going to show you how to bind off some stitches in the middle of your work and then go from knitting in the round to knitting flat. So I have, this is just an example. I have starting a new round. I am going to bind off half of my stitches. So I'm going to bind off 16 stitches. Oh, and that's probably a little tighter than I would like. So I like to bind off with hardly any tension at all. So I just let my yarn flow. And here I'm to my last stitch. So I still have one stitch remaining, even though I bound off 16. I only want 16 stitches remaining. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that one there makes 16 stitches. So it seems like I have bound off 17 stitches, but there are 16 remaining. So it does look a little, it's a little confusing. So I do like to leave the number of stitches you should have remaining. So it's just an extra double check. Now you have half of them bound off, and I did all in the knit pattern. You may have a knit 1, purl 1 pattern. So you might want to watch for that, or even knit 2, purl 2, so it follows the ribbing. So now I'm just going to knit normal as if I were knitting in the round. So I'm just going to finish knitting this row, which is now went from a round to a row. Oh, but I don't want to bind it off. I got a little excited there. Just knitting. So I kind of look at my pattern down below there. So we're just going to knit these stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. However, this is just a test, so it's not particularly picky. And then I'm at the end of what was a round. Now I'm going to flip it over to my inside, and I'm going to purl. So I went from knitting in the round to knitting flat. And I'm just using a 16-inch cable. However, it is a little short to be knitting flat. So if you have a longer cable, you can switch to a longer cable. I'm just purling that whole row. And now we're going to flip it over and knit. So I have a couple of, I'm going to say I only have one pattern, I believe, that's like this. And it is in my triangle scarf. I'll leave a link to it down below. It starts out, it's kind of a cowl bandana. So it starts out as a cowl, and then I bind off those stitches to make the front triangle, which it can be confusing going from knitting in the round to knitting flat, which seemed like kind of a crazy concept at first, but I don't like seaming anything. So if I can knit in the round, I will. Even the magic loop method, it's not my favorite way of knitting. However, I like it better than sewing up some seams. So there you have your bound off side, and then you just keep knitting this side here, front and back, as if knitting flat. So now we'll flip it over and do all purl stitches to work from the right to the left. So that is how you bind off half your stitches or some stitches and continue knitting flat after you have knitted in the round. So I hope you guys found that to be helpful, and thank you so much for watching.